Hi, it's fantastic to be talking with you today. I hope you're incredibly well. As a coach, I've studied coaching in depth. I've studied coaching formally. I've also watched other people coach. I've trained people to coach. I supervise coaches, etc., etc., etc. So basically, what I'm saying is I've got a really sound understanding of this process that we call coaching. I've coached people from different parts of the world. I've watched coaches in action from around the world, and I've also been coached myself by numerous different coaches. So again, what I can tell you is I really understand what coaching looks like, and I understand the literature around coaching. And for me, there seems to be a big gap in this discussion about coaching. So if you look at the literature, if you talk to many coaches, many coach trainers, coach supervisors, you'll find people constantly talking about what is the impact of coaching on the coachee, so the person receiving the coaching session. What happens to them? What it looks like as they grow, what are the challenges in being coached, etc., etc. Hardly anybody talks about what is the impact of coaching on the coach. Now there's a two-way process here. There are two people involved in this. So what happens to the person who's coaching? Particularly people who are full-time coaches, who are coaching people on an extremely regular basis. You've got to argue that there must be something actually occurring for them too. And I would like to introduce you to a concept called empathetic distress. And empathetic distress is something that we do understand happens to people. So empathetic distress is when I hear your story of struggle and suffering, when I hear your challenges, and I imagine myself in that space. So as you talk about the struggle, I literally imagine that's me. I can experience it. And what we know is empathetic distress causes negative impacts upon the health of the person who's experiencing it. So as I hear your story of struggle, and as I imagine myself in that space, this has a detrimental effect upon me as a human being. Long term, we know that this has a significant effect upon the well-being of somebody experiencing this. So if you allow yourself to experience empathetic distress on a long-term basis, this is going to damage your well-being. So what can you do about it? Well, there's another concept called empathetic compassion, which is I hear your story of struggle, I hear your story of challenge, and I recognize the difficulty it is for you, but I do not allow myself to imagine that I'm in that space. So if you're a coach, if you're a coach trainer, a coach supervisor, you need to understand these concepts. You need to understand the difference between empathetic distress and empathetic compassion. And you need to be openly discussing these with your coaches, with your coach trainer, with your coach supervisor. It should be a core part of being an awesome coach. Thanks for listening to me today, and I hope that we'll get a chance to talk again soon. In the meantime, be extremely well. Cheers.